time. And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. T.J. Watt able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
At their own 45-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Hey, alert!
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Complete to Washington. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the 1st. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
4th down.
It would appear Sean Payton's made the decision here. They will go for it on 4th. Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Austin. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Ravens, they'll take over.
1st and 10. At their own 19-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Hey, come on out here. Come get some.
On 2nd down, Ingram. He'll be taken down well behind the line, and I think he might have just given those 4 yards right back. That second down play nets a -4.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Watch the slants. Watch the slant. Hustle. 198. Watch 98.
To throw on third down. Jackson. Open man is Michael Thomas. With that, he matches his receiving yards from a week ago. We still have more than a half a football to play. It's a first down. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Vince Williams on the tackle. 1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards to pick up there, good for a Raven first. So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go. Let's get there. Check three.
A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. And now Jackson will look to throw it. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. This is caught at the 20. Now that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Jackson from the shotgun. Now he'll pull it down, finding some room at midfield. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. And he's got this down to the 35. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Jackson now. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Steven Nelson. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon, so that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Hey, box truck.
After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. Washington's got it. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. To throw here, Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd.
Heavy, what you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Here we go. Take both of them. 50. 50. Black and turn.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. From the gun, Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked up by Steven Nelson. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
Roethlisberger's pass intercepted. The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 29.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they thought they had some.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jadeveon Clowney, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. And that will be incomplete. So coming up empty here to start the 3rd quarter. Already 2 scores down. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I did notice, though, that the captain of the defense patted the quarterback on the helmet on his way out, pretty much letting him know, we know the pressure's on us. We're going to go out there and try and hold serve for you while you figure it out over here on the sidelines.
Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. And officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. Now it's Jackson. That's caught. It's Thomas. And all the way in for a Ravens Ravens touchdown. Michael Thomas, his second touchdown of the afternoon as the Ravens push further out in front. This time, the extra point up and good, and that makes the score 21-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
The Steelers take over first and 10.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to face a third down.
Here we go. 2:30, 1 day. Mike 36, Mike. Jack 16.
Now it's Roethlisberger. And Big Ben intercepted a third time. Picked off near the 34. They were looking for Johnson that time. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Play action. Now Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Well, it was 2nd and long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
They go play action with Jackson. This is complete to Michael Thomas. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Tucker's kick is good. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Mike 36. Black, 64. Easy.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he'll be out right at the 35. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Roethlisberger now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. On 2nd down now. It's Connor, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Now it's Ingram. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
With the score, Ravens 24, Steelers nothing.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. They'll get their receiver involved here. It's Brown. Now Brown, he lost the football. And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the first at about the 21. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Roethlisberger. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. On 1st and 10 is Counter. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. They stay on the ground. Here's Counter again. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
51's the mic. 51's the mic. Solid, 5 down. I'm going to run you over. Kill.
On third down, Roethlisberger. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. He's picked off at his own 47. There he goes left side. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They start the drive with Conner, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
On 2nd and 7, Roethlisberger. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles?
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From midfield now, here's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era. We think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
198. Watch 98.
They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. Flush to his right. And he will not throw it away. He goes out of bounds, well shy of the line of scrimmage, so that's a sack. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
I got it. 2-6. 198.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson steps away to his left. He'll try and run it. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Jackson. And he will find his man on the outside. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't just exchange someone.
Not another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd and 9, Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Let's go, baby.
On third down, Mark Ingram. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Again, a run with Connor. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Converge.
On 3rd down, it's Connor. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for.